All right, so my name is Anderson Day. I've been doing accessibility work at Michigan State for the last 2 years, auditing and remediating websites, documents, software, and also helping integrate accessibility into the Inspirit architecture program there. So why accessibility? Well, according to WebAIM, 20% of people have some form of disability, but not only does accessibility benefit that 20%, it benefits the rest of us as well. For example, so looking at Microsoft's inclusive design, they outline it as permanent, temporary, and situational disabilities. So I'm sure some of you in this room have experienced certain things like holding a newborn child, or if you break your collarbone snowboarding and you can only use one arm for 6 weeks, or you're standing at the bar trying to order a drink right now and you can't hear the bartender because some kid's talking about accessibility on the front of the stage. So how do we tell whether the things we're designing are accessible? Well, the WCAG, or the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, is a working document for content creators, designers, developers, and project managers to all improve the digital content. So how do we check for these errors? Well, there's some tools that allow us to help. My favorite ones personally are Totally and Axiom to Q, which are browser plugins, and then the color contrast analyzer from Paciello Group. That one's my favorite. Auditing, but when we're looking at these errors, it's important to remember that we want to use the actual assistive technology that our users are going to be using. So VoiceOver, NVDA, JAWS are all screen readers. It's about users and not just checklists and compliance. So last month, WebAIM did some research on the top 1 million homepages, and they found that on these homepages there was 59,653,607 accessibility errors. The top one being color contrast. So the difference between text and background needs to be at least 4.5 to 1, with better being 7 to 1, and the highest with black and white having a difference of 21 to 1. Color contrast is important, but use of color is also important. So if you look at this tutorial from Teach Access, it's showing 2 graphs, one with just differences in colors and the other adding texture so users can tell the difference. Then the next important is alternative text. So 68% of home pages were missing alternative text. There's 2 different types of alternative text that we want, but every image needs a tag. The first one is decorative. So if we look at the chevron bar, it's just there visually to separate the top and bottom content, doesn't convey any meaning. But the other image, like who will, Spartans will, does convey meaning, and we need to add that alt text explaining. When thinking about alt text, it's important to kind of think about like looking over, or sorry, not looking, explaining over the radio. This image would be like the International Space Station slicing through the Milky Way. Link text is also important. I know sometimes we like to put here or more or there, but we really need to add context to our links and tell our users where we're taking them. Form inputs are also super important. So, sometimes you can add a visual cue there, but it needs to be programmatically set for screen reader users. So to do that, we do that by adding a for and match it up with the ID of the input that we're trying to get the content from. So another one is page languages. So every page needs a language. This one, EN, stands for English, and if the page has multiple languages, you need to denote where the language changed so the screen reader reads it out properly. Skip links, we saw that super long navigation from the Sears website, but they're there for repetitive content like that, so if you're a keyboard user, you don't have to tab 100 times through just to get to the content on the page. The last one is heading structure. So if you're a visual user, think about a memo heading structure as your eyes move from heading to heading so you can get to the content you want faster. It's very similar for a screen reader user to be able to jump from headings to headings like that with proper heading structure. Each web page should really only have one H1. I know the HTML spec says otherwise, but it's supposed to denote the whole meaning of the page and then consecutive heading levels after that without skipping levels. Thank you. Remember, accessibility is about conformance, but it's really about the user experience and how the users interact with our websites. Thank you.